Well, hello to Quest. It's good to see you again this week. And so want to put out this video newsletter, which sometimes we use as just kind of telling you about events and reminding you. And we have a lot of those coming up. So just remind you to be a part of those because we really want to be about inviting people in so that we can lift people up, so we can call people out to something better together. I think that's really a big part of the Christian life is we do it together. We do it personally with the Lord, with God himself. And that's really, really, really incredibly important. But we were also designed to do life in community, in relationship together. And so we want to invite people in because we have a tendency to wait to invite people or to be invited, but we want to invite people in so that we can lift people up because we live in kind of a crazy world, and so that we can call people out to something better together. So that's what we want to do. So sometimes we just tell you about events that are coming up, which are an opportunity to do those kinds of things. Other times we want to just kind of get an idea across, something that's on our hearts, on our minds, something we think is important. So today I'd like to just share some things personally that I've been kind of wrestling through. And sometimes I'm even disappointed or a little bit embarrassed that I haven't had these thoughts deeper and earlier, though they come and go, right? But here's my fundamental thought for today. And without trying to be kind of an Eeyore, or kind of negative, kind of a down, or a Debbie Downer kind of a feel, I've just been thinking through the reality in the last several weeks, really the last several months, about how disappointing life is. Now, I know that sounds kind of negative, and I actually am probably more naturally an optimistic kind of person. And not only optimistic, but probably sometimes I tend to be a blindly optimistic person. Probably not a whole, I just think everything's going to work out fine. And I think even if things are bad, they'll come around. And they're going to get better, and it's going to come back to normal, and we'll just kind of, it's all going to just be fine. I don't think about a linear so much of life, that it's headed in a direction, and that sometimes that direction isn't very healthy or isn't very good. And maybe is unfolding to really unfortunate things. And so, but when I look around the world today, and I look at even our culture, our country, I have great concerns. I have great disappointment that the Middle East is in the condition that it's in. But as I look at the scriptures and prophetically where it's headed, I don't know if this is end times, but I think there is eventually going to be a direction of great turmoil there. And there will be great, incredible things that God is going to do, but it's in the midst of some very difficult things. I think about what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine. And the complications of that conflict. And then I think about even the election cycle that we're in here as a nation and all the issues that are on the table. I find it very disappointing in so many ways about where we're at. But I can take it to my own personal life, too, and say, much of my own personal life, when I really look at it deep down and hard, not only more recently, but over the span of the whole thing, there are regrets, there are disappointments, some which can be redeemed and fixed, and others which cannot, or at least have not. And so, and then when I think about being disappointed, I kind of want to say, I don't want to admit that. I don't want to really say that. What I really want to say is it's all going to be fine. We're going to be good. But that's not always exactly true. And so kind of owning up to that. And really it goes back to Genesis chapter 3. Genesis 1 and 2 are the recording of creation, of God's making the world, and the beauty in which he made that. And in that, the ultimate is the the reality that he made mankind in his image, the most unique part of creation, obviously. We were made with his image to carry that. And not that we'd be exactly like God, if eventually that's what they wanted to be, was like God, but that we would reflect him in so many ways that he created us to be. Now, there are ways we can't reflect him. We're not all knowing, we're not all powerful, we're not all holy. We're not like that. He's totally other than us, than that. But that we can be like him. He's made us with the ability to love, to pursue justice, to give mercy. Those kinds of things. He's made us like that, with that ability in a unique way. And so, in the beauty, though, that he made in Genesis 1 and 2, I was on a walk this morning, early, 5:30ish. It was still very dark outside, but just how peaceful it was. And it was really kind of crisp and very enjoyable. The moon was incredible. There is such amazing beauty in this world. But even in that, I know that it's marred and scarred by the fall in Genesis 3. And it's touched everything on the planet, in the universe. It's touched everything, especially in the realm of the events of mankind, and especially our relationships, that it's been scarred and marred, and nothing is the way it was supposed to be. It's all broken. Every piece of it. Nothing is perfect. I so want it to be perfect. So I find this world to be, in some ways, tremendously disappointing. And that's one of the challenges of our life, is to deal with this dichotomy of the way it was supposed to be, but actually the way it is, and then what is coming. And so I guess I find one of the great things of the gospel is that there's hope. That God said, I want to redeem, I want to renew, I want to make new that which is broken. I want to fix broken cisterns. We try to fill our lives with all sorts of things, but it can't hold it. Like a broken cistern, it leaks. And you have to keep filling it up with whatever. God said, I want to fill you up, but I'm going to return, and I'm going to make this all right in the right timing, in the right way. I will make it all right. But in the meantime, I've sent my son to redeem you, to fix you. Now, that's a sanctification process, is the word we use theologically. But that we've been sanctified, set apart for a holy purpose, and now our lives are the process of that unfolding, of being lived out, of being built in, of being matured in our lives. And that's what he's about. So I do look forward to the day he returns, but it's not just about eternity, it's about today also, that he'd be changing us and using us and motivating us and moving us to make a difference in a world that's in desperate need of hope. And that today, that's the hope we can give people. And it's a hope that's in Christ. Now, we've been talking about in this series about messy church. But messy church is really saying the wisdom of the world, which says that the man is the measure of all things, actually never works. But what we really need is that God to be the measure of all things. And we put him in the center of the universe where he belongs. And things work out better. They line up better. There is more of a message of hope, of direction. But when we sell ourselves to man being the center of the universe, it never works. So in the midst of our disappointment, there's great hope. That God is a God who is both infinite and personal. And he invades our lives in the person of Christ to make us new. I have great hope in that. So I look forward to doing life with you all in the days, weeks, months, and years to come. Okay? And let's do it together, where we can invite each other in, to lift each other up, to call each other out to something better, together. All right? All right. Love you guys. See ya.